Hey everyone, Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids, and today we're taking a look at some products from Browning Black Label. And I got connected to Browning, and particularly their Black Label line, through Jared Wahangi, who I did some videos with at Blade Show 2014 and at SHOT Show 2015, and got connected through him to some other folks from Browning, and so they sent me some products for review. I also have a pack that we'll be reviewing in the future. What we're looking at right here is the No Boundaries folding knife, and then we have the Shock and Awe Tomahawk, and over there is the Tripwire tactical knife. Today we're going to be focusing on the No Boundaries knife, so I'll get these other two things out of the way. We'll zoom in, talk about this knife, and in the future we'll be looking at those two. Alright, once again we're looking at the Browning Black Label No Boundaries folding knife. Let me give you some of the specs on the knife. The first thing I'll tell you is that you can get this in this version with the black handle and also one with a tan blade and a tan handle. So you got a couple different options there. Price point is going to run you around $30, a little bit more, a little bit less depending on where you pick it up. Some of the details: it is a drop point blade. Your blade length is 3 3/4 inches. Your overall length is 8 inches and your close length is 4.5 inches. Your blade steel is 8CR13 MOV. It does have what they call sculpted G10 handles, and it does feature a liner lock. So yeah, I've been holding this knife and using this knife for a little bit now as my EDC. The first thing I'll tell you is that it's very ergonomic. Like the first time I picked it up, I just thought, knowing a little bit about Jared, who you've probably seen featured on the Nut and Fancy project on YouTube. He is an instructor all over the world teaching people how to use bladed weapons. I mean, he does a lot of training, but in particular bladed weapon self-defense, and you could tell that this is a knife that, you know, he had some influence in having it put together, just because it is just super ergonomic. It kind of reminds me of like a larger, a little bit more sleek version of the Needs Work from Kershaw. That handle was a little bit too short for me on the Needs Work, and I had a different style blade, but it has a kind of a similar feel. So let's talk about a couple of specs here as far as opening it. You do have dual thumb studs, which when I first looked at it, they're a little bit different because they're not just a single kind of stud that's rounded down. It's actually, you can see it kind of sticks out. It's got a little bit of like a wider end, as opposed to it going from wider down to thinner. So that deploys quickly like that. You also do have this flipper option. Now the knife I haven't used a ton, and so as it came out of the box, basically the flipper, I mean, doesn't really flip open. You can flip it and swing it, and that will open it up. And the thing I like about the flipper is that now it becomes this guard for your finger. And once again, just super ergonomic. As soon as I held it, I thought just really comfortable. You can see some jimping up on top here, and even that thumb ramp, that's just just gives you good, nice, solid control when you hold the knife. Some jimping here on the back side, jimping on the top, and then, as is often the case, jimping down there on your liner. Flipping it over here, you can see that we do have the pocket clip, one position, another position, and then a third position. So you got 3 of the 4 basically when it comes to how you want to set up the knife and where you want your pocket clip to actually be set up. It does say no boundaries over here on this side. It is made in China, though that tiny little phrase right there is China, or that tiny little word right there is China. And then over on this side you can see the Black Label line. Size-wise, here's a couple of different knives that you can compare it to. We have the No Boundaries, then here we have the Rat One from the Ontario Knife Company, then we have the original SOG Trident, and then up top we have the Spyderco Tenacious. So you can see we have this is by far the widest blade. That's going to be your Tenacious, is going to be the second closest. As far as you know, the size of your handle, it's going to be close in size to all these, but again, most similar to the Tenacious as far as the size of your handle. And as far as your blade length, let me line up the blades a little bit closer here. Once again, most similar to the Tenacious, and looks like it's going to be not the shortest, but the second shortest out of all 4 of those. So very close to all the knives, but this, it just has a different kind of overall look. These are a little bit more kind of straight angles or straight knives when it comes to your blade, and then your actual handle. It's got a bit more of a curve to it, and none of these knives have the flipper option when it comes to deploying it. So you're going to get a different, you know, just feel when you're actually holding this knife as compared to some of these other ones. As far as your price point, again, depending on where you get it, but you're probably going to be paying closer to maybe $40, $35, $40 for that. Probably over 50 or so for the Trident, and then for this particular version of the Rat One, probably in the $35 to $40 range. Here's a quick look at it in my pocket, and you can see that the pocket clip does sit nice and deep, so it's not like you have a ton of the knife actually showing. And taking it out of the pocket was quite easy to do. It's not like it's a ton of work to get it out of the pocket. Some knives, just by the nature of how the pocket clip is so tight, or if it rides just kind of awkwardly, it's hard to get out. But this one, based on how it sits, rides nice and deep. Take it out, deploy the blade, and good to go. What you want, what you want. Come on. What you want, what you want. Come on. What you want. Come on. Tell you what I think about the knife and some of the ups and downs. I do like the fact that you've got a bunch of different options for where you can actually carry it and attach the pocket clip. You saw what it looked like in my pocket, so totally fine there. It's not like it's, you know, riding super high or it's going to fall out or anything like that. I did find that with the width of the blade this way, and then also your width this way, it is a little bit of a on the larger side when it comes to being an EDC knife. Now, it is described as a tactical folder and also an EDC knife. I do think, you know, sometimes people say that, you're like, yeah, tactical folder, that's really what it is. But it does feel like it's built with not just EDC purposes in mind, just the ergonomics of it, the shape of it, etc., etc. So I'll throw that out there. I haven't used it in a tactical application as far as knife fighting. I don't plan on using it in that way, but it seems like it's got some of that flavor or that flair in how it's actually built. As you saw when I was deploying it earlier, the flipper, I think, will eventually loosen up, and that'll be a good option. But at this point, using the thumb stud is certainly the best option. I do like what they call their modified drop point, and so that point, that tip up there, is going to be just fine for piercing, getting into things when you have to do some cutting. Let me show you once again compared to the Ontario Knife Company Wrap Model 1, just a thinner, sleeker blade, so not as wide this way. But, you know, it depends on what you want to use it for. When I think about the no boundaries, I'm definitely looking at that and saying, everyday carry, absolutely. Everyday carry / utility knife, definitely. This reminds me of the no time off to some degree from CRKT. Definitely not the exact same look, but some of the same features as far as it being kind of big and hefty and chunky. And yeah, I like that when you want to have some a thick, strong blade for aggressive use and just those day-to-day tasks. I would definitely feel very comfortable using this in that type of way. This has kind of been round one for Browning Black Label as they bring a variety of different items to market. I do like the look of a lot of these knives. I like the no boundaries. I also like their pandemonium. As far as the overall quality, it's going to have to be one of those. We will use it and let you know. But so far, I've been pretty happy with it. So it's been an EDC knife for me, and I'll continue to test it out and let you know what I think about it. Stay tuned for some more reviews of other Black Label items. Those will be coming out pretty soon. So thanks as always for checking out our videos here, Everyday Tactical Vids on YouTube. Please subscribe to us if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram and Tumblr as well. More videos coming soon, and take care.